what I want to show everybody first of all is, and most of you probably know this, but some of you may not. When you're on your desktop, this is my desktop. All this here. So I want you to be able to create a folder when you're doing a listing presentation. I have a little side hard drive that I use that has that I save everything in so that I don't lose it. But you don't need to use that if you don't have it. But if you look, here's my current real estate transactions. So I would save everything in there. That way, if I ever need to find anything related to that property, it's in there. But what I want you to be able to do is create a folder. So when you're on your desktop, if you right-click, it'll give you these options. Go down to New Folder. So again, right-click, New Folder, and then type in the name of the folder. Now, I already did it for this transaction that we're going to do. If you don't want to use that, you just send it to your recycle bin. All right, so here's my new folder, which is already open. Follow me? So we're going to do a listing presentation for 3222 Princeton Avenue. The listing I already have, but I want to show you how I'm going to do this. So our first thing we want to do is, before we're going to go out to the house, what I do is I get the public record and I look at it. By the way, I got to change this to pending. I sold this property in 1 week, by the way. But I want to look at the information. How long have they owned the property? Look at this. These people bought the property in 1946. Inside, it looked like it was from 1946, too. I get the square footage. I get the bedrooms, the name of the owner. If I meet with a guy and the owner's a woman, I could say, "Where's Ruth at?" You're not Ruth. So it just gives me a bunch of information. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to print this. Now, you guys should have this option on your printer, too. I'll show you. So I'm going to change my printer to PDF. And then I'm going to hit Save. And guess where I'm going to save it to? I'm going to go right into my desktop, 3222 Princeton, public record, save. Boom. Now, look at this. I go back to Princeton Avenue. There's my public record. It's in there forever. I have it. If I wanted to open it, I could. It would open. All right, so that's first thing I would do is get the public record. Now, what we want to determine is, at some point, the seller is going to ask us what's our opinion of what the sale price should be. Or we need to be at least prepared to be able to tell them what the sale price should be. So the first thing I'm going to do is look up the street. That's what you always want to do. Now, this happens to be a little bit of an easier property to compare, but I would go one block below and one block above. So I'm going to get all 3100, all 3200, all 3300 on Princeton Avenue. If you're dealing with a more difficult property, then where there's not as many comps, it might be a little bit more difficult. But look at this. I'm going to hit active, pending, and settled, residential, 3100, 3400 Princeton, and I'm going to hit next. And look at that. Boom, I got 8. That's, by the way, if you ever get 8 on the street, it's hard. You might make it so easy you don't have to do anything else. Okay, so here's my active. First one is 115. Right? Then I got my listing, which is 134 on the 3200 block. These are the 2 active ones. Then I got one that's pending on the 3100 block. I got another one that's pending. Look at this, 150. N unit. Okay. Then I got my solds. So there was 8 total. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 solds. Now, what I'm going to do is very quickly, I don't care, I'm just going to save these. So they're all selected. I'm going to save as. I'm going to create a result set. Now, this isn't letting me create a new result set because I have too many saved. but I'm gonna get rid of this one here from 2010. So I'm gonna go replace, finish. So now I'm gonna go to my result sets, and I'm gonna rename this. And the name is going to be 3222 Princeton CMA. Hope you guys are all following this. So you want to save, because what we're preparing for is a CMA. So when I click on this, I want to find the one that's on my block or closest to me. So here's my this is my listing, 3222 Princeton, but I don't want to use that because we're assuming that it wouldn't be listed already, and I'm doing a listing presentation on it. So if you see this top listing, right, the MLS area is 19149, so I'm going to write that down, and then the MLS number is 6359531, 6359531. So I'm going to write that down also. Now I'm going to go back in the trend. I'm going to do a search for listings. I don't know what that was. All right. So I'm going to do an active search for listings. Well, guess what? The MLS area, I'm going to use 19149, and I'm going to go within 0.5 miles of that listing. And I'm going to go, I kind of know the price range. You should kind of get an idea of what the price range is. But let's just say 110 to 135. Just a little bit of a big jump for this area, but that's okay. All right, and I'm going to go down here. I know that I'm dealing with, from my public record search, I know that I'm dealing with a three-bedroom row home. And that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. So active. I'm looking for my active comps right now. 13. That's a little bit more than I would want to see, but let's go look at them. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at these, and I'm going to try to gauge which of these is, I'm going to deselect all of them. Out of these 13, I would like to get a handful as active competition for me. So I'm going to try to pick the ones out of here that I want to save into my CMA. I already know this one's on my CMA because it's active. Here's one. One thing you guys didn't see or I didn't show you is on my listing, it's an air light. Does everybody know the difference between an air light and a straight through? A straight through means when you walk into the house, you walk into the living room. Behind the living room is the dining room, and behind the dining room is the kitchen. So each room goes from front to back. In an air light, so a lot of the agents don't even know this. They don't even select it, but a lot of these are straight throughs. Anyway, in an air light, the kitchen and the dining room are side by side. And the reason for that is, the reason they call it an air light is because air and light get into every room. There's a window in each of the rooms. Typically in a row home that's a straight through, the dining room doesn't have any windows unless it's a N unit. All right, so there's my little lesson on air light and straight throw. Anyway, I don't want to pick all 13 of these. Oh, I wouldn't pick that one because it's under contract or there's an offer on it. And normally I wouldn't want the highest price listings. In my case, my client wanted to price it very high. All right, so what I'm going to do is pick the closest ones that haven't been on the market. How many do you really want? How many active listings are you really looking for? And my answer is probably 5. I would say that would be one. This is an estate, so it might not be in good condition. I don't know. This just came on the market, a little bigger than my house, a lot bigger, 300 square feet bigger. But look at this. It's very close. See that? That's why I put that MLS number in there, because it tells me How far is this property from my subject? This is really good. I'll save this one because it's super close. This is too big. I'm not going to save that. Here's Wellington, next street over. I'll flip through the pictures maybe real quick. It looks okay. So I might use that one too. This is on Common Avenue, but it's under contract. This is too big. It's an N unit. I wouldn't want to use that. This property is a little bit bigger, very close though. So let's save that. It didn't save it. There you go. This is my listing, so I'm not going to use that. Glenview Street's a little bit bigger. Here's my listing too. This is the house, by the way. It's 1,110 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, airlight. Look at mine. 3-bedroom, 1-bath, airlight, 1,104 square feet. This is an ideal comp for me. They got theirs priced a little high. I had mine priced a little high. And look at these people, tenant occupied. You know what tenant occupied properties mean. It's difficult to get into. Look at their little write-up that they did. Look at this is Canaan Realty Investment Group, Joyce Co. She did a terrible job here marketing this property. She's got no information here. She's got no pictures here. No good. I'm not going to use that. It's not a good comp. I'll sell 20 houses around this area before she'll sell this one. All right, here's another one. A little bit bigger than mine. I don't want to use it. Here's one, St. Vincent Street. But again, look, 300 days on the market, no pictures. Tenant occupied. All right, so I don't even know. I don't know how many I selected. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to live with that. So I go refresh. Now I got my 4. See my 4 listings here. Now I'm going to hit save as. Going to go to result set. Append existing set. Scroll down to 3222 Princeton CMA. Finish. I know I did that pretty quick. I shouldn't have done it that quick. But hopefully you got it. And if you didn't, anything that we're covering here, if you're doing a listing presentation, you want me to help you, I will help you. You just got to give me some advance notice. You can come into the office, we can meet, or we could do something like this where you're doing it online. All right, so there's my active competition, part of my CMA. Now I'm going to go revise search. Now I'm going to go pending in the same area. 10. Now one thing I like to do is to gauge where I'm at here. In this same location, I do active and pending, right? And I got 23. So check this out. This is very significant in this area for me. If I do active and pending listings in this little snapshot of an area within a half mile from this property right here, I got 23 total listings. And out of those 23, I got 10 that are under contract. That is almost 50%. And how you get that number is I take the 10 and divide it by the 23. There's 23 total. So 10 divided by 23 is 44%. So I have 44% of the available inventory in this little region, which is, I know it's a little small sample, but still. What does that tell me? This is a hot little area. Half the existing inventory at this very moment is under contract. That's important to know when you're dealing with your seller. And you want to be able to share statistics with them like that. But anyway, I got 10 pending. Out of these 10, I want to find, out of the 10, I want to find a handful that meet my, so here I would deselect all. And remember, I'm looking for comparable. What's comparable is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath airlight would be the best one for me to look at. Look, this is already in my list. All right, we know that. This is already in my list. Or maybe not, because I only went up to 30. But look at this, 1,600 square feet. I don't want that one. That's not a good comp. Half mile away, let's try to find something better. Here you go, 1,100 square feet. This is a straight through though, but I'm going to use it because it's very close and the square footage is similar. Price 231. Wow, a lot of these are. All right, here you go. This is perfect. 1,100, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, big sale price. Not happy about that, but I don't know how many I got here. Maybe 2 or 3. Let me pick one more. That's 14. I'm gonna pick this one. So I got a few of them that I think match. And again, I'm doing this very quickly because for the sake of our training. But I'll click refresh report. I got 4 pending. I'm going to save as, put them into my results set, append an existing result set. Again, find my Princeton Avenue CMA. Boom, they're added in there. Now I'm going to revise my search. Now when you're doing this last part, we got to find the sold properties, right? These settled properties is what an appraiser is going to look. Wow, look at that. I got 28 in the last 6 months. So here, I got to trim that down. I can't go through 28. It's not a good sampling. So that means when you have a lot of settled properties within a short distance of a subject property, that means that you have some that are old. A lot of them are older that we can get rid of. How do you get rid of it? You go, I'm going to go 3 months instead of 6. See, that's so simple right there. So now it'll probably cut them in half. Cut them in more than in half. That's perfect. So I have 9 properties. So at this point in my review of this listing, I want to determine what is an appraiser going to appraise the property at. Can I think like an appraiser for a minute? That's what we really need to do, or what we're hoping to do. The reason I want to do that is I want to be able to pinpoint what are this appraiser's choices on what they're going to use for a comp. And the appraiser has to put 3. They have to have a minimum of 3 comps on their appraisal report. So we want to see, what are they going to use? Okay, so I'm going to deselect all. What I'd like to do is take the best ones out of here. Let's start at the bottom. So my best sale is 132. Right? And it's sold in January, and look, it's bigger than mine. So if an appraiser was going to use this, somebody's going to give them a problem, an underwriter. They're going to say, or he's going to have to make a large adjustment to lower my value because this has 300 square feet bigger than mine. I don't want that one if I can avoid it. I don't want this one either. Look, 1,400 square feet. Here you go. This is what I want right here. This is my house. He has to use this. Look, it's sold for $128, no seller concessions, sold January 27th of this year. Looks like it's somewhat nice. Flip through the pictures. It looks okay. The only thing is this has an additional bathroom. Half bath in the basement probably. And then you got to go look in the thing. Look, full finished basement, outside walkout, finished all. That's the same as my house though. They got central air, too. I got central air. I know these little details about my house, but anyway, this is a perfect comp. They were listed at 136.9. An appraiser is going to have to use this in his report. All right, here's another one. Perfect. This is even more perfect. 3-bedroom, 1-bath, air-light, 2-story, same exact square footage as mine. This agent didn't do as good of a job. He didn't fill out the trend sheet. He only did what's necessary. He didn't do everything. Look at this guy. See what he did? Carolyn is a better agent than Ray. Ray's been in the business forever. So he's just lazy with this listing because he didn't fill out all the information. She did. See, all that tells you everything. Full basement, finished basement, central air, deck, what kind of flooring, tile. I fill out everything on mine, and you'll see that when we get to my listing. Anyway, I love this comp. I'd have to use it. Appraiser would have to use it. Here's one on my street, but it's a little bit bigger, and it's a straight throw. I'm going to ignore that one. Here's one that's too big, too. Too big, 1,440 square feet. See, that's the first thing here's one. This is perfect. 3-bedroom, air-light, 1 bath, 1,105 square feet. Look at this, though. No central air. And I don't know about and the basement's finished. Sold in February. Look, 10 days on the market. They put this on the market and sold it. 119.9. All right, and this one, actually, this is a good comp too. So I'll select this too. Now I'm going to hit refresh. Okay, now I'm going to hit save as. I got 4 more. I'm going to go right to my Princeton Avenue CMA, 3222. There you go. Hit finish. Now I got my comps. Okay, now what we want to do is I want to prepare my CMA. So I want to go into my saved items, result sets. That's going to be the first one that comes up. I'm going to select all. Then I'm going to hit CMA. Actually, first I want to do something. Hold on. I'm sorry. I want to get my subject property. I might have it right here. Hold on. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's on my desk. I think Shatrice has it because it's pending. But I didn't change it to pending. All right, let me look it up. Sorry about that. 3222. What's nice to do is to get a picture of the front of the house to put on your CMA. So you got 2 choices. But here's my, so what I'm really looking for here is this MLS number. I can use this one or an old one. This property hasn't been sold since 1946, so there's no record of it. All right, so anyway, I want to go back to my result set, go back to this one. I got 18 properties. I want to select all. Now I want to create a CMA. So did you see that? I just hit right the CMA button, and my CMA wizard pops up. See that? CMA wizard. All right, no contact. You can add a contact if you want. You can make a contact for this person. You probably should do that. I don't know why I don't. I should have started a long time ago, but not all these are old. Anyway, I always click no contact. Then I hit next. I want to create a new subject property. Hit next. Subject property name, 3222 Princeton Avenue. I want to autofill from the MLS, so look at what I'm going to do. Remember I saved that MLS number? That's why I went back and looked for it. And then I want to hit fill. And then it's going to pop up all the information. See that? It put a nice picture in there. Filled in all this information. See how I filled out everything? It's all nice in there. And it even has my little write-up. So you could do all this. You could take a picture of the house. If it wasn't in the MLS, you could take a picture of the house from the outside, drive by, and then you could fill in all this information from the public record, basically. And if you don't know something, you leave it blank. Look, I left this blank. And then you can even do a little write-up, what you think you would write in the property thing, so you could show the person. Now this comes up to my comparative market analysis. You want to edit some of this information, put your cell phone, you want to include your photo, you can. And this is all to be edited so that you can make changes. Now look, it's taken me to here. So there's 3 things: market comparison, agent's recommendation, and strategy. You can also change them, but I like to leave them. So, and trend automatically populates this for an area that I'm in. But look, it's talking about Huntington Valley. So what if I was to do this CMA, not fill this information out, take this to them, and they read it, and it has information about an area that's totally different than that? That would be a big mistake. So I would delete this, and then I would write something in there. What is my, look, the market comparison. Well, what do I know? I know it's a pretty hot market because out of 23 available listings, 10 are under contract. I would write 44% under contract. I would write something else about the street. I would write something else about, whatever. You got to be thoughtful there. And again, this is something, if you and I were doing this together privately, I might spend more time on this, or you should spend more time on this. This recommendation is, what is your recommendation as far as listing the property, price range, time on the market? So I told these people, if we list the property at 120 or 125, my idea was, let's list the property at 125. We'll get it under contract in 60 days. So I kind of wrote that in there, but I added a lot of filler information too. Strategy, this is where it's very important. So I would start looking towards, what's my marketing platform? How am I going to market your property better than anybody else? What's going to separate me? So I'm going to write in here about circle picks, right? I'm going to write in here about my just listed cards. I'm going to write in here about professional photography. I'm going to write in here about the text-to-sign writer. Whatever it is, I'm going to write in here. So, and I'm going to tell them. Now, I might be able to show you a CMA that I did do to see that. But anyway, you kind of see, you got to be thoughtful. In here, you got to tell them what you're going to do. And then you got to use this when you're in their living room and you're going over what your strategy is. You got to be on your game, and you got to be able to say what we're doing as far as marketing the property. Okay, now I would hit next, and I would do full CMA. Hit next again, and then here's my CMA. And look, there's 21 pages because there's a lot. Oh, wait, you know what? I wouldn't hit full. I hit medium. Let's cut down some pages. All right, we cut down 10 pages because of that. See that? All right, so it takes you through all the active listings, all the pending. Look, see, active. Here's the subject. Well, look, I'm going to print this. And where am I going to see? So I'm going to print the map. Wait, it's not letting me do that. I don't know why. All right, I'm going to hit print. What am I going to do now? I'm going to save this. We're back to 22 pages. I don't know how that happened. All right, save this to my file, 3222. And I'm going to put CMA, right? Boom, done. Now, check this out. When I go to my little folder, I got my public record and my CMA ready to go in there. Okay? Go back up here. All right, so I saved my CMA. I wanted you to look at that. Here's what it would look at like if you printed it. Let me shrink this a little bit. So this is page 1. And it would be nice if you should have a photo of yourself here. That should, be something you would do. Page 2 is blank, so I would eliminate that. Here's my subject property. So when I'm going over this with the seller in their living room, I'm going to circle right here where it says active. I'm going to look at the price. I'm going to look at the square footage, the taxes. Look at this days on the market. Bad. Something's wrong here. Okay, then here's another one. I'm going to circle active. And I'm going to go through each one with them, each comparable property. Each page starts with the subject, and then it has 2 properties on it. Active, active. Subject is up here. Active. Now we go to pending. So active properties would be where our competition is. Pending properties is kind of where the market is going. And then the sold properties is what the comps are that an appraiser would use or have to use or be required to use. And again, I would circle this pending, sale price, square footage. All right, and then eventually we go through it all for the settled. You got to go over each one of them with them. Show them that you know what you're talking about. You know the property. You know what they are. And then eventually it'll take you down to that strategy. Market comparison, agent's recommendation. And again, this should have a lot more information in it. There's also something that didn't let me print, and I'm not sure why, which was the statistics that show you averages, original price. Oh, wait a second. No. All right. So now you guys got that. That gives you a good opportunity to do the CMA. Now, one of the other things that you need to do is get a performance report. I hope everybody knows what this is by now, but maybe you don't. So I'm going to click on one of these listings. Here's my active listing. So let's go right here. 3526. Well, you know what? Hold on. Let's view all my listings. I want to view an active listing. This has been on the market too long, so I don't want to use that. This is too big to our house. Here you go. This is a good one right here. So I want to hit performance report right there. See it? Now this is crazy that there's 68 listings. I gotta do something about that. So I want to go reduce my radius, 0.5. What Trend automatically does is when you click on the performance report, it automatically starts 1 mile from the subject within a mile radius. And it also gives you, it takes 10% off the price to get your bottom number, which is the 113, and then it adds 10% to the price to give you your top number. So we could shrink this down a little bit. Let's go 115 to 135 within a half mile. Click update. See if we got rid of some of these. Good. All right, so now I could say to my client, here's a performance report. You know what else I could do? Watch what I do. I'm going to print this, and guess where I'm going to save it to? Right into my folder. And look, it says performance report. Save. Now, it's right in there. Here's what it looks like for the client. Now I could say to them, there's 25 active competitors in your market that are within this price range and a half mile from where your house is. 7 just came on the market, 9 have been on the market for a little bit less than 90 days, and 9 for more than 90 days. And look at the market heating up. New listings in this little region. 3 and this is a 4-week snapshot. So here's 1 week here, 2nd week, 3rd week, 4th week. But look at this, 3, 2, and 5. So in this little half-mile radius, listings are going on the market. Here's my scheduled appointments. Look at this. Average per week is 1.27. Average before contract. Look, they're looking for 16 appointments. And then the settled price to the asking price. It gives you the averages there. We can go through this in more in detail if we were meeting privately to help me explain this to you. But I use this when I'm talking to a seller, big time. I'm using this to sell that, 1, I know what's going on in the market, and 2, I'm going to outperform the market. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. But anyway, look, view to automatic email and direct email. You guys know what that is when somebody signs up for a hot sheet and when an agent sends a direct listing. But look, 5 people on average per week, 5 buyers are getting this listing emailed to them. And 1.6 are getting a direct email from an agent. So I save this as a performance report that I'm going to include in my thing. But now, watch what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you my performance report. Now, if I don't have one on you don't need to use. You don't need to always use. You can't always use your listing because it might not be listed yet. But you can use one that we did, and I can always give you. You can always use this one for for whatever. I'm going to have this saved now because I'm going to click on performance report, right, on my listing. So you could always say, I'll use this. Now remember, we got to trim this down. So let's go 118 to 137.5. 137. All right. Let's see if it lowers it. Great. So there's 15 competitors from me. Notice that there's a blue bar now instead of just the blue and the yellow bar. The blue bar is me. And look at how I'm kicking everybody's butt in this market right now. I got more appointments. I'm under contract already. I got way more emails going out, and I got way more direct emails going out. When I show this to a seller, I show them I know what the existing market's doing, what all the other agents are doing, and I'm going to outperform them. And I prove it time and time again. When I show these reports to people, it makes an impact. Because this is saying, by the way, these 2 weeks I wasn't even on the market. So I come on the market the last week in March. I get 4 appointments. The competition gets less than 1 on average. The next week, I get 13 appointments. Competition gets less than 2. I had almost 20 appointments on this property. I'm under contract already. Look at this. I come on the market, and I get 30. Now, part of that is I'm a new listing. But it doesn't matter. I got these direct emails, too. I mean, there's a way to manipulate that. And the way to manipulate it is you either change the price or the pictures. So if I go into my listing every week and I delete a picture and add a picture, even if it's the same picture, Trend thinks I did something and they send it out to all the hot sheet listings. All right, so what am I going to do? I'm going to save this. This is a huge selling point for me. So I'm going to go performance listing report, trend, my listing. I'll add to it, right? Hit save. Now, what if I was going to do I could do a side-by-side for you. This would be nice to do in somebody's house, right? I don't know what happened. Okay, one is for my listing and one is for the competition. And if it's in the same area, that would be great. It's going to be hard to do that, but you can give them a sense of what you're doing, side-by-side look at. If you laid this out on their kitchen table or the living room table, and it could show them they're getting 1.2 list showings per week. I'm going to get way more than that. Follow me? So this is a very good tool to use, and you want to have both of them. You want to have a market performance report for their area for a property that is close to their house to show them what's going on in their market. And then you want to have one, this one does not have to be for a house in their area. This has to be for a listing that you have that you can demonstrate a comparison between you and the competition. So the blue is our office, the yellow is the competition. And we are outperforming the competition everywhere. In all phases of this listing, we're winning. We're doing a better job, which means we're creating more exposure, we're getting more views online, and we're getting more showings in the house, which is creating a better offer and a quicker sale price. Okay. All right, so now we're going to try to get closer to the end here. If you have questions, right, I know you can't talk to me. If you have questions, you got to write them down now, and then I'll give you a chance to ask your question. I can unmute you in the conference call so you can ask your question. All right, so where we're going to go to next is we have to prepare our CMA. So you saw it right in here. I go back to my folder. I would print these I would print the public record. I would print the marketing report. All right. I would print my CMA. Probably a couple other things I might add in here. I might have a cover page. This is really the cover page, but I might put a cover page that says sell more, sell with Liberty Bell, or with my name and information on it, or something like that. You could write a letter if you wanted. I also got to show you these. I wanted to show you these cards too. Okay. All right. So at this point, we're getting ready to put a package together to be able to go to our presentation. So we got to prepare a listing contract. So I'm in zip forms. I go listing contract. I filled this all out. If you guys have questions about this, you got to talk to me. But look, start date was 3/18. I signed a 1-year contract with them. I didn't give them a choice. I took a hard line with them. I'm going to sell the house for you. I'm committed to it. I'm the best that you're going to get. You got to give me a year, just in case things get out of hand. And really, why do I want a year? You know why I wanted a year mainly? Because I knew that they were pushing the price on me. I wanted to list at $125. They agreed to $129. Then at the last minute, they went to $135. That's what happened. 6%, $295. That's what I'm doing. I put 90 days in here, 50% in there. I'm offering a 3% co-op commission. And I'm clicking that I'm going to use the MLS. You got to do that. They're giving me authorization to get payoffs, even though there isn't one. Okay? So I would print that and save it to my folder. Got to get a consumer notice in there. I would print that and save it. Seller's estimate of closing costs. Now, you heard my pricing and everything, but look at the price that I used in my estimate. I said, look, the worst case scenario is going to be we're going to get an FHA buyer at $115. We're going to have to pay 6% broker's commission, 6% seller assist, and 2% transfer tax. You're going to net $98,000. So when I was at their house with them, going over this, I said to them, I'm guaranteeing you that, not guaranteeing you, but I can almost assure you that you're going to get close to 100 at the worst case scenario. Are you okay with that? They agreed. They were like, okay. Guess what? I sold the place for $125, $127 without any seller assist. So I'm adding $12,000 to the sale price, and I'm getting rid of $7,000. So I'm adding $19,000. So they agreed that they would be happy with $98,000, and I'm getting them $117. I look like a hero to these people now because I'm going to pull this out at settlement and say, remember, when we talked about this, you agreed you would be happy with $98,000. By the way, I did pull it out because when the buyer offered $125, they said to me they wanted to counteroffer $130, and I said to them, okay, but please remember, you were going to be happy getting $98,000. I'm giving you $115 with this offer. So we do not want to lose this buyer. And then what happened is they still wanted to fight a little bit, and then I went back to them again and pushed them to say to them, please. By the way, this buyer waived all the inspections. It's a cash offer, and they have no mortgage contingency, which is insane. And basically what I said to the seller is, if you don't take this offer, you're insane because you're never going to get an FHA buyer waive all the inspections. And they're going to have a mortgage to deal with, which could be complicated. Anyway, this is important that you fill this out and bring it with you. And then the next thing you need to print out and have ready is a seller's disclosure statement. A lot of agents
They don't like doing this. But here's what I do. I pin the seller down, and I answer all these questions. This is a must in our industry in Pennsylvania. You got to get this filled out. I know there's a couple New Jersey agents in the training, and I know you don't have to do this in New Jersey. It's optional, but this is something that we have to do. You got to fill this out with them. So I print this out, and I make sure we do it at the listing presentation. I save it to my computer and upload it to Trend. Anyway, you would have all this stuff filled out and ready to go. They're the 4 things that we need. Okay, now what we're going to do is prepare what is our marketing presentation. So remember, this is what you got to sell to. This is what you're trying to sell to your customer. Why should they use you and nobody else? Okay, why they should use you and nobody else is because we have we're going to do a marketing we're going to use a marketing platform that we spend thousands of dollars on every single month. And it's a spectacular, top-level platform that nobody's outperforming. There might be other people using it or other systems similar to it, but this is top level. So you would print this flyer. It's a folder. This is page 1 and this is page 4. If you can imagine, this gets folded in half. And then this is the center of the thing, of the flyer. So thank you for choosing me as your agent, considering me. And here's our platform. We use a sophisticated online marketing system. We get a professional photographer to come out to your house. They take professional pictures and video of your house. Then they do the system automatically creates a website just for your house. They syndicate that website through all of the listings. They create a YouTube video. They give me the option to have that video and platform on any of my devices that I could show anybody. There's a mobile version of it. They use QR codes. We do a Facebook campaign. And you can get more in detail with this when you're with somebody. But this gives you a good sense of what you can do. And then there's this talk to text. So what I want you all to do, if you want, is text this number. So if you want to, you could do this right now and you could see this listing. But you could, the text number that you're calling is 67299. So just like you were going to text me my cell phone number, instead of putting in my cell phone number, put in 67299. And then in the message box where you're going to type a message, type the number 2675024. If you do that right now on your cell phone, and I need at least one person to do it, so somebody's got to do it. So you're going to type in 67299, you're going to send a message, and this is the keyword that you're going to send. So what would happen? What I'm saying to my client is I'm going to have a sign on their lawn that's going to say, call this number and dial this extension, or text this number with this extension. And what will happen is it'll send you the link to the property. It'll send you this. This is my listing. This is the website for my listing. Okay, so and you could see, I would do a demo for somebody in their house. I would say, this is what I'm going to do. It has a verbal audio tour, and then it has 25 pictures of the house. And then there's also it didn't get the right listing. Let me see something. I don't know why. One didn't have the... So there, somebody did text me. A couple people texted me. I have this text software, but look at this. I say to my client, when somebody texts me, I get... No, that didn't work either. Yeah, you all did it.
When you text, there's a link that comes up on your thing. I wonder if I did the first one. Oh, here you go. I'm sorry. I got it right now. Yeah. All right. So anyway, you guys texted me. Now look at what happens to me as an agent. I get a lead. So I know somebody from this phone number called me about this property. They're in front of the house right now. They got the number from the sign. And this person, same thing. They got the number from the sign. What do? I'm going to call them right away. So when I'm talking to my seller, I'm saying to the seller, I'm going to put a sign on your lawn that gives anybody with a cell phone, a smartphone, the opportunity to see your listing and see this website right on their phone in a mobile version. And I know they're there, and I captured their information, and I can call them. That's a great selling point. Not everybody's doing that. One other thing you want to see in this website, it gives you the opportunity to see the details of the property, a map of the property, my information. Somebody wants to schedule an appointment, they could do it. It shows them my other listings. It gives them a brochure that they can print or email to a friend. And this is something big. It gives them all the schools closest to them. Click on the school, and it updates all the information. Look at this. Gives them information about the race, ethnicity. Nice. This is a nice total teachers, students, teacher-to-student ratio. Good stuff. All right. The other thing it has is the virtual tours. So you could see, I could pan this around, but it takes, look, that's nice. Then the inside. By the way, this house wasn't that nice, but they did a nice job on the floors. They painted. Here's the tours of the house on the inside. Right? I know Scott's thinking I should have used the Lancey Street on this, but all right. So I do this demo with the person in their house, and I show them that I'm going to do this for them. And then I also show them this just listed card. I don't know where it is. Where is it? Right here. I tell them I'm going to mail this just listed card out to their neighborhood. And if I want to do an open house, I tell them we're going to do an open house to let everybody know in their neighborhood that this house is for sale. Which I did this card and we're going to mail it out, but the house is already sold. But I'm still going to do it for advertising for me. One other thing you want to show them is the difference between you and them. I'm going to end with this, and then if you have questions, you can ask me. Is the #1 visited website online for showings, for real estate listings, is Realtor.com. So when somebody goes to Realtor.com and they search for a listing, they usually search in an area and a price range. So look at me. I'm searching in 19149, and this is my price range. And if I do that, my listing comes up right here, right? And here's all the other listings. There's usually 10 on a page. So I want you to look at all 10 of these listings and then look at mine, because mine's the only one here that has this tour button. Nobody else has it. See that? When I show this, when I'm in somebody's house and I show this to them, it's very powerful. Because I'm saying to them, all of these agents that are listing these houses, that are your competition, that are near you, are not even close to the technology. None of them are using it, because none of them have a tour. But look at what happens. When the customers see, don't believe me, the customers see this because we can track it. We can see how many people are clicking on our listings from Realtor.com and how many people are going to this website for our every time somebody goes here to see this, I get it. I don't know who they are, but I know somebody's going to it. Okay, where was I? Realtor.com. So click on the tour button. because that's what they do. That's what the buyers and sellers do. Once they click on that, it isolates them to this listing, and then they click on it again. And now when they click on it again, it goes to my website. It just took them there. This is what you want. If you're a seller and it's not costing you any more money, you want this. You want your agent to be able to provide this type of technology to the potential buyers that are in the marketplace. All right, so that's very important. And if we go back, we could see, again, no tour button on any of these listings. So it doesn't matter how nice they are. They're not using professional photography. They're not using a private website for the property. And they're not doing as good of a job. And they're not going to get as many online views as me. I'm getting way more online views. My property looks better. It's a better listing. It's got better technology. I'm getting more action, and I got a lot more showings, and I can prove it. So what I want to impress upon all of you in this training and anybody in our office is you can do this. We have the technology that exists for you to be more professional than everybody else, using better technology than everybody else, getting more action on your listings than everybody else, getting more showings and getting better offers and quicker sales than everybody else, than the competition. It's right here. Now, again, we covered a lot in a very little bit of time, but when you get to it and you're getting a listing and you want to do it on your own and you say, Dan, can you help me prepare for this? I'm going to do it with you. And you'll spend an hour, and you can ask somebody. Some people have already done this in the office where they said, Dan, can you help me put this together? And I've helped them. And it gives you a little bit of practice on doing it, and then the more you do it, the more you see it. That you could tell by how I'm talking. I believe in this because it works. I got proven results. Look at this CirclePix account. If you look, this is my CirclePix account. Look, look at all these listings. I've done it with all of these listings. Believe me, this works. It's very, very productive. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to know if anybody has any questions. If you have a question, you got to text me. All right, Tahira has a question, so let me unmute this. If I can figure out how to unmute it, Tahira, I'll do it. There it is. All right, Tahira, you're on. What's your question?
Good morning, everybody. My question is the CirclePix and everything, is that for everybody? Or is this something
Okay, that's
you have
a great question. It's something that you have to pay for. So if you want it, you'd have to pay for it. There's a monthly service fee to get it. And then if you're going to do professional photography, you have to pay for that, and that could be around $100 to $150, depending on where the house is. And if you don't want to pay for all that right now, you could put the listing under my name.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could be the listing agent, you could be the co-listing agent, and we could use CirclePix for that. You would just have to pay for the professional photography. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody else have... Oh, sure. Okay, one more. Hold on. Not one more. Hold on. What happens if you have no comps in the area? No. There's always comps. All right, Sharice. Sharice, you're on. What's your question?
Dan?
Sharice? Hi.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. So at several points during the presentation, it's like your voice got somehow muted, so I wasn't able to follow some of the things that you were saying. I regularly prepare a CMA, but you had some tweaks in terms of how you were amassing the information, and at those times I couldn't follow what you were saying. So do you have a script or anything like that that we could look at?
Well, this whole training is being recorded. So
Right,
you're gonna get this emailed to you, and if you want to rewatch it, you can rewatch it, and I think you could fast forward and pause it whenever you want.
right,
You'll
but the
be
thing
able
is
to hear
that,
me.
but in those same places where your voice was muffled,
No, that was
you know,
because of your phone. This will be recorded. You'll be able to hear everything.
okay.
Yeah,
All right,
because
and
I never got computing.
And if you can't hear everything, you call me
Answer my question.
privately, and I'll be able to help you with
Okay.
those questions at those times. I think somebody else had a question. I think Gail had a question about comp. Oh, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Gail, were you able to hear my whole presentation?
Yes, I did. But my question is, I have a co-op that's coming up for listing, and I haven't been able to find any comps in the area.
Okay, but that's a very unique situation that you would have to talk to me privately about, because
Okay.
at some point, remember, if somebody's buying a property and they're getting financing, an appraiser is going to have to provide the lender with at least 3 comps. And there's going to be ways that they're going to be able to get the comp. And the main way is that they're going to be able to go out of the area. So they're going to be able to expand their search.
Mhm.
All right, so we could talk privately about that, Gail.
Okay, no problem. I'll have to come into the office and talk to you about it.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other questions? You could text me right now. I'll give you another minute or so if anybody has any other questions. Remember, this is recorded, so Scott will be emailing this to everybody that you could rewatch it if you wanted. And how much is Circle Picks? Circle Picks is $50 per month. And then if you want to pay for the photography, that could be anywhere from $125 or $150 per photo shoot. And I've done some real nice, I could show you that one listing. You guys can see this. This is really special listing. I'll do this real quick because... So this was a listing that we got downtown. And this was the photo shoot. So he started, and you guys can look at this online. You could just go and see it anyway. But look, here's the rooftop. Here's the rooftop 360. You could slow it down, speed it up. Here's the kitchen, dining room. I think here's the master bathroom, really nice. Guy did a nice job. It was really bad lighting outside. It was like overcast. But this came out great. This is really nice listing, and he did a great job on the photo. All right, the photographer is available in New Jersey. They're available all over the country. Does anybody else have any questions? If not, we're going to end this training right now. I want to thank all of you for participating. I hope you learned something. Again, this is recorded. You'll get the link sent to you that you can rewatch it. And you always know my door is open to you. So if you have any questions, you call me. If you want to prepare for a listing, call me. We'll set up an appointment to get this to get you set up. All right, thanks for coming.